All right. So our next Patreon request comes from Gordon Rajani. And this one is a pretty fascinating one. It's basically giving us a what-if scenario of what if Jason was in a zombie apocalypse. So yeah, what if Jason Voorhees was in a zombie apocalypse? What would that be like? Like, what would that ensue? So without further ado, let's get into it. Yeah. As always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon where you guys can hit the third tier. That'll allow you access to do so. But other than that, let's get started. So what would it be like if Jason found himself in a zombie apocalypse? Well, I kind of think that nothing major would really happen. I don't really think anything of major value would happen. I mean, Jason probably doesn't know a lot. All he knows is Crystal Lake. I mean, aside from going to Springwood and space and New York, he really just has not. He really only wants to stay in one place, and that's Crystal Lake. And the big thing is that that's a pretty secluded area. Now, obviously, Jason wouldn't have any like prior knowledge to like a zombie outbreak, and would probably just be chilling in his house. And I think eventually there probably would be like some occasional zombies, because most of them, if you go by typical zombie apocalypse, the zombies would just kind of stay in crowded areas. But there is the town that is connected to the town that is part of Camp Crystal Lake. So let's say the zombie outbreak happens there, although I do imagine these smaller towns would have a better chance of survival. But let's say the zombie apocalypse reaches there. I do think that either most people would have escaped or bunkered down and just stayed in a small town survival community. And they'd still be like, should we go and hide or get resources from Camp Crystal Lake? And everyone would be like, are you fucking stupid? Yeah, they would still know, yeah, Jason is still, like, any survivors would know, don't go there. But what if there were what if survivors who were looking for somewhere to bunker down who didn't come from that aren't natives of the town? Like, let's say some survivors from New York made it to New Jersey and found, like, oh, it's secluded, there's, like, shelter here, we can, there's enough game in the area that we can eat, we can hunt it. And then Jason kills them all, and that would be to Jason, this would just be kind of this really would just be another, like, they're intruders. They're not but they are a little different. Like, they all, but Jason wouldn't care. Now, I do think some if zombies wandered in, because I imagine just not a huge horde, but one or two zombies, maybe like a total of like a small group of zombies just come shambling in. I imagine Jason's gonna like try to like stab one typically, and it would just like look down and still be like, and Jason would just be like just look at it. Like, he would just be not all that phased by what he was seeing. He would just pull the machete out and just chop the head off. See, that's the thing, is that this is not, it's something different, but it's nothing Jason can't really handle. Now, for sake of argument, let's talk about another major thing. Could Jason be turned into a zombie? It's kind of hard to do that when you're already dead. I mean, Jason is already a shambling undead being, so to have let's say a zombie bites him, I don't really think anything major is going to change in that regard. I do think, however, that if Jason has enough strength to like fight several zombies, but if he found himself like theoretically in the face of a horde of zombies, I think he would get overwhelmed just by numbers alone. Now, would zombies want to eat Jason? That's another question I think we can kind of explore. I do think that there is that possibility that that zombies could bite on Jason and pull flesh out. I don't think he'd be turned, but I don't think after a few would probably even if they wanted to bite him and pull chunks on him, I think they would be like, ugh, this is putrid. This is like rotting meat. We want fresh meat to eat. So there would probably and if that goes so far, because I think the zombies would probably like look at Jason and be like, one of us, and just move on. But Jason, if they came in, they'd be like, well, they're not. This is my home. You're not welcome in my home. So slashy. Yeah, it's just kind of like, yeah, Jason is so much of a revenant that it's really hard to say that like, oh, he would go out into the world and like fight zombies and things like that. No, the big thing is that he would probably just be kind of chilling in his house, just kind of chilling in the and sitting next to the rotting head of his mom, and that would be it. Like that's because he doesn't need to eat or sleep or anything. He's just gonna sit down and not do anything. And if he hears like survivors, he's gonna kill them. If he hears zombies, he's gonna be a little. I think it would be like kind of a learning experience with all these zombies. But I don't see like a horde showing up unless it got to the point where like mankind is just all gone and now hordes of zombies are all clustered together looking for food, like schools of fish all working together and encounter Jason. And even still, if they bit him, I don't think nothing would happen. I don't think they would try to eat him either. And yeah, but if Jason did get into a fight of zombies, it probably would overwhelm him, probably rip him apart, but they wouldn't eat him. So yeah, that's just kind of my 2 cents. I don't think anything major would change with Jason, honestly. But yeah, you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you think it would be like if Jason was in the zombie apocalypse? Just comment below, let me know. Once again, I'd like to thank Gordon Rajani for this Patreon request. And once again, if you'd like a Patreon request done yourself, hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, you can do so. But other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.